Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? So, today I've got something really great for you. It's called Padlet. If you've never heard anything about Padlet before, I think you're going to find this to be something really cool that you could use in your classroom. And the great thing is that you could use this in your face to face classroom, but also in your virtual classroom. So, hey, you know what? Let's get right on to it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get yourself a subscription. So that's easy, very easy. And the great thing is it's free. So all you have to do is hit the sign up for free button, and then you can sign in using the platform of your choice, whether it's Google or Microsoft or Apple or, maybe even your own personal email. Either way, anyway, it's fine. Keep in mind, this is a free um, application, but it is a little bit limiting. So you can make maybe three, maybe four Padlets on your account before you need to start deleting. There is a paid version of it where you pay a monthly fee, and then you have the ability to make so much more. So if you find that you're going to be using this in your classroom quite a bit and you want the kids to be able to go back to previous Padlets and access those, then I highly recommend that you get a subscription. So once you have logged in or once you have signed up, you can go ahead and log in. You can click the login button. Looks very similar to what you just looked at. I'm going to log in with Google. And of course, I need to choose my Google account that I'm going to use, and I'm choosing that one. And voila, here is my own personal dashboard. So, as you can see, I've used it quite a bit so far with my students. I teach seventh grade mathematics, so this is something that is very easily done in mathematics, but it can be used for any subject matter. Any subject matter. Let me give you a little quick glimpse as to how I personally use it in my classroom, but there are another way that I'm going to show you that I am going to be using as well in my classroom. But this is how I have introduced it to my students. We have been creating a collaborative resource guide for the different modules that the students are learning. So we have these large modules, which are basically units, and inside of each unit are these the skills are broken up into indicators. So in this particular module, it was powers and scientific notation, and we had three indicators. Indicator 10 was powers and exponents. Indicator 11 was properties of exponents. And indicator 12 was scientific notation. So my instructions for the students were to gather up uh, a piece of tutorial, whether it be a video or written tutorial or something that they can use to help them and understanding the material, or even like an infographic would be great too. And they would link that onto the Padlet. Additionally, they had to go out and they had to find some resources for practicing those skills. So, worksheets, online digital practice, things like that. They would link it to the Padlet. And in the end, they have this rich resource that they have participated in uh, gathering these materials for their peers. So they have buy-in with it as well. So that's how I use it in my classroom. But then again, there's also another thing that we could use it for. And one of the things we do at our school is we do CDCs, which are called claim data commentaries. And we actually use this in all of our subjects, but in mathematics, the claim data commentary looks a little bit different. We have, we actually start off with the data where we're given a problem, and the data is where we show our work to get our solution. Then we go back up to the claim and we state what our solution is. So the claim is just commentary or a statement as to what the solution is. The commentary is where we go about explaining all our thought processes in arriving to the answer. So, why did we specifically choose to do this equation? And, what are the properties that allow me to do this and that and all the other stuff to get my solution? So, that's what I am going to use it for as I demonstrate. And the students are going to be able to do peer feedback with it. So let's go ahead and get started with making the first Padlet. So all you have to do is click on Make a Padlet. Easy, easy. You've got lots of different platforms, so you need to think about the purpose of your Padlet. In this particular case, it's going to be a way to publish student work and to receive peer feedback from their classmates. So there's lots of different ways that I can use it. I think I'm just going to use a wall, so I'm going to select wall. When it comes up, it automatically assigns you a background, but great thing is you don't have to stick with that background. We'll talk about changing the background in just a minute. First thing you want to do is you want to title it. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to title it Two-Step Qualities CDC. Then in the description, what I do here is this is where I post the directions and the expectations. So bear with me a moment. I'm going to go get my expectations. Um, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to paste it. So these are my expectations for this particular Padlet where the students are going to be providing peer feedback. So the first thing is that they have to post a picture of their CDC. If they do a paper pencil format, I usually like to give them a couple of choices on how they do it. Some like to do paper pencil, some like to do a digital format. So if they do paper pencil, they're going to upload a picture. If they do a digital format, then they download it as a PDF and then insert the PDF. Then, second thing is they need to read and provide feedback for at least 3 of their classmates' posts, so that way there's every single person has at least 2 posts that they can look at or 2 feedback that they can look at to learn. And then lastly, what I feel is probably the most important part of it is an expectation for the feedback itself. All feedback must be posted in a constructive manner. Keep it uplifting and helpful. So I want to set the tone right then and there that this is going to be a positive forum to provide feedback to your classmates. Okay? All right, so moving on down, we have a way we can copy the link to the clipboard, which is great because then we can put that into Schoology or Google Classroom or whatever LMS you use as a platform for your students. Now, let's talk about changing this wallpaper. I love green. Don't get me wrong. I love green, but I want to change it. So I can change it to a solid color, a gradient, textures or patterns, or even a picture. I want to make this one simple. Sometimes I want to make it colorful and fun. Other times I just really want to keep it a little bit more professional. So I'm going to choose this one because I feel like that this is a a notebook paper. I feel this is a good background. It's actually kind of blah, so that way it puts the focus on the students' posts as opposed to the background, so it's not distracting. Then I can change the font if I want, so I can make it a little bit more fun by choosing a different font. Attribution. Now, here is something that is extremely important. I want my students' names to show up on their posts because I don't want to have to click on it and figure out, okay, whose is this? You all know it's really a tough time trying to figure out whose papers are whom's when you don't have a name on it. So otherwise, the students need to be logged into Padlet themselves, which means they have to have their own subscription. So you need to ask them to go to Padlet and they need to sign in using their school Google credentials. And once they're there, then they can go to the link that you provided and it will pull up on their own personal Padlet dashboard. Now, here's the thing. In order for it to remain on their dashboard, they have to post something. So whether they post something or make a comment, they have to do that in order for it to stay there. Because if they don't do that and they go out and then go back in, it's not going to be there. They're going to have to access it through your provided link again. So they need to make sure that they post something in order for it to be able to go to Padlet and bam, it's right there. So, long story short, reason why I want the kids to have a subscription is because I'm going to click on this where it's going to be at the attribution button. So it is going to display the author's name on the post. All right, you have a choice. You can have new posts either go to the top of the stream or you can have them go to the bottom of the stream, whatever you want to do. Comments. Well, the purpose of this is to provide peer feedback. So, absolutely, you want comments. Reactions, that's completely up to you. For me, the only one that I use, if I use any at all, is the like. Otherwise, the others could be bring in kind of a negative aspect of it, like for instance, upvote, downvote. That could potentially be negative. Stars, that could potentially be negative if you give it 1 star. So I like to keep it as positive as possible. So the only one that I do for, especially for peer feedback, is the like. But even then, I don't even really need to have any reactions. Content filtering. I personally do not want to have to approve everything that gets posted on it. I set the expectations. If I find that a student doesn't meet those expectations, I can personally go in and delete that post, and then I can speak with that person independent or privately. So I don't really want to have to be burdened with the idea of having to approve everything. So I don't click require approval. However, I do click filter profanity, which supposedly it says replace bad words with nice emojis. I haven't had any issues with that, but it's always nice to have that little safety net there. Gonna click next, and I am ready to go. All right, so now we can start posting. Here is, and this is what you're going to tell your students, here is this pink button down here, and to click on that or to post, they can click on that, or they don't have to do that. They can just go somewhere in the Padlet itself and double click. And it opens up the little toolbox for them to do. Now, these are the 4 most common uh, postings. The file upload, take a picture of something and post the picture, post a link, or even do a picture lookup. So those are the 4 most common things. However, there's this pink button that has the 3 dots. You can access a lot more options for you. So you could do video recording, audio recording, all different kinds of things. So it is a very, very versatile tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a CDC that I created as an example. And I go to my device, find my file, click open, and then it loads my file. And once it's loaded, it's not posted yet until you click publish. You can have them change the color of the background if you want. So if you want a color coding system, you can have them do a color coding system, or you could just let them choose whatever color they want, a little personality. Click publish, and there it is. So that's what you need to first tell your students how to do, how to post their CDC. Then you need to talk to them about how to post a comment. So, first thing they need to do is they need to look at the CDC. So they click on it, and here you have your CDC. Now, full disclosure, there is an error on this because I wanted to post it so that the students can find the error and make a comment, a positive comment to make a suggestion for improvement. So just wanted to let you know that that was there in case you're like, oh, wait, she's not supposed to have that answer. So you go back here where it says add comment, you click on add comment, and that's where you're going to have your students type in their comments. So, like for instance, I'm going to start off by saying something positive. I really like how your data section is easy to follow your thinking. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to identify the error and point that out to that person. Please keep in mind when dividing by a negative number, you need to reverse the inequality, whoops, quality symbol. Mm, okay. Now, it's not posted until they hit this little button right here, the little arrow. And now it's posted. And notice that the person who made the comment, it's their name is posted as long as they're signed into to um, Padlet, their name is going to be posted. But of course, if it's anonymous, then you're not going to know who it came from, and they're not going to get credit for that post for that comment. All right. One last thing. When you go to share the link, go up here to where it says share. And there's lots of different options here, but one of the things, so sometimes you don't even need to copy and paste the link. You can just, access it through here. But one of the things I really need for you guys to understand is privacy. So you're going to want to change the privacy. Usually, unless you change it, it's going to be public. What I do in my class is I don't really want anybody else other than my students that have that link to be able to look at it. So I keep it secret. I click on secret, and this is to keep the Padlet hidden from the public view. If I choose to share it with somebody, they should be able to access it. So if I provide them with a link, they should be able to access it. Okay. But the only way they can access it is if they have the link. You could also choose a password. That's optional too. Um, Members only, I would shy away from that one because that means all the members of the Padlet community. So I would recommend either password or secret. Okay. And then also you need to give visitor permissions. So they have choices. They can read, they can write, or they can edit. So my recommendation is put can write so that that way they can view and add posts. They can't remove anybody else's posts. They can't edit anybody else's posts. The only ones that they can edit and remove are their own. Okay? So that's what I would recommend. All right, guys. So, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you create your own Padlet where you could do peer feedback. So follow the instructions that I have on the website and create your own Padlet. Have fun. Catch you on the flip side.